So I also wanted to go over the settings that I didn't mention. I just talked about the settings that I play. So the swing difficulty, basically all this is it makes it to where you don't shank as easy, or it makes it easier not to shank, whichever. And then also the say if you play on normal or easy, your backswing is a lot slower, and the more you go up, the faster and more fluid your backswing is. So now, the swing meter is basically a line that can measure, like, say, if you want to hit it 100 yards, it's a line in your backswing that all you got to do is measure it along that line, and then you're going to hit it 100 yards. Ball spin is pretty obvious. You can spin it any way you want. Putt preview, you just hit the L1 button, and whatever you're lined up to, it will basically show you what the ball's going to do if you hit um, perfect backswing and a perfect forward swing. Personally, I usually hit red blue, so it doesn't really help me much. Besides, I don't use it anyway. I just don't bother with it. So the green grid, there's a couple different things here. You can either do no beads on or off. Personally, I like it off, but with no zoom to aim, you can't actually look around the green. So I typically do no beads when I play no zoom to aim, but my favorite way to play is I turn it off. I turn all this stuff off. I leave green grid on, or sorry, I leave zoom to aim on, but I don't actually use zoom to aim, and I only use it when I'm actually on the green, so I actually have to read the green. That's literally my favorite way to play, but if I were to do that and play against other people online, then they would be using the zoom to aim, and it would basically put me behind the eight ball, and yeah, so that's why I typically leave the no green grid, or sorry, leave the zoom to aim off, and leave just the no beads, because the beads basically tell you how fast the ball's going, and or sorry, how fast the slope is breaking, and where it's coming from, and all that stuff. And I like to still have to be able to read it myself, so that's why I do that. Also, the strike meter here, there's a few different ones. Personally, I like to play perfect because if you play perfect, then you have to play the lie at your feet. If it's angled to the right or if it's angled to the left, you're gonna have to play that. If you play on sticky, it moves the dot on the ball, like I was talking about earlier, and basically that makes it to where it adjusts for the lie at your feet. Analog does the same thing, except for when you want to move the little dot on the ball, you have to hold it with the one stick while you swing with the other stick. And then analog fade is the exact same thing as analog, but when you move the dot on the ball, the dot on the ball disappears, so you can't see it. But for the most part, sticky, analog, and analog fade will just completely compensate the lie at your feet for you, and you won't actually have to deal with them unless you're in the rough. Now, if you play perfect, you always have to play the lie at your feet, whether you're in the rough, on the fairway, what have you. But personally, that's my favorite way to play. And what I do is I make sure that my there's a recovery stat, which makes it to where you can play easier out of the rough. I have that very low, so I actually really have to deal with the rough when I'm playing on perfect, even though it still makes it pretty easy for me to play from the rough, but also it makes it tougher. Um, so I try to keep it evened out. And then with display, you can either play it arrow only, completely off, or on. Personally, I like to leave it on. If you only have the arrow, you just see the direction. You can't tell how hard the wind is blowing, and in real life, you can feel the difference between a 5 and a 10-mile-an-hour wind. You can stand there, you can feel it on your face, you can throw some grass up in the air. There's all sorts of stuff you can do to make, so you can feel the actual wind on your face. So shot shaping, usually what I do is I turn it off because what this means is when you shot shape, you're basically hitting straight up and down. Now, oh, there's Birdman. How's it going, bud? So, then when you're playing normal, basically, you swing straight up and down unless you're hitting the shot shape. Then you gotta swing sideways. Personally, I don't mind swinging sideways, but be honest with you, in real life, I can do it, and I don't understand why. Like, say if I were to put on expert, right? Expert swing makes it really hard to keep it straight. And if I were playing advanced shot shaping, which makes you swing sideways basically every time unless you're hitting a pitch shot or a putt, then you always got to swing sideways. I mean, I have played it. I don't mind it. It doesn't really bother me. But yeah, I just rather keep it turned off because it's one, it's a lot less stressful. Two, I can shot shape in real life. And three, well, it's just annoying. All right, well, yeah, that's those are all the different things that I didn't really go over last time. These are all pretty self-explanatory up here, like the wind. You can either make it windy or whatever. Wind gusts, you can turn them on or off. You can change the time of day. You can even play at night if you want. Um, second cut length, I usually leave that at long. So like I said, I do have to really, mess. The rough really does mess with me. Course conditions, slow, average. I think these are way too slow. I don't even play them usually. And then fast in tournament. Fast, I don't think is that fast at all. In tournament is actually a really nice, really nice speed. Flag select is pretty self-explanatory. These are all, I usually play on either medium, hard, or expert. Easy, like I said, too easy. You can change the pin location. You can either play that many holes or that many holes and change the course. It's all pretty simple. Boost pins, these are pretty nice. You can boost your score, or you can boost what your player does. And I do want to throw in something that I forgot to mention before. Say if you're playing with no zoom to aim, right? That's my preferred way to play is with no zoom to aim. Say you can't really tell where the ball's going. All you got to do is hit the start button, and you can see a map of the hole. And say if you still can't really get a good gauge on, like, say, your yardages, because EA doesn't give yardages on the map, which I really think they should, for no zoom to aim players. All you gotta do is take the green, find the tee box that you're teeing off from, and then find the middle point. Say if you're on a 400-yard par 4, find the middle of that, hole, and then there you go. There's your 200-yard mark. And then if you want to really give yourself a more of a yardage, ish, I guess you could say, find the halfway point between the middle of the fairway and the green, and then boom, there you go. There's your 100-yard mark, and then find yourself between the middle of the fairway and the tee box, and then bam, there's your 300-yard mark. But I don't know why you want to have 300 yards into the flagstick, but if you wanted to, there you go. It'd be like a full driver off the deck. Am I right? All right. Well, you guys have a great day. I appreciate you, and have a good one.